Welcome. It is Thursday for live tarot readings, and I owe someone a reading from yesterday. So let me find out who that was, because I know we had a donation right at the very end. Right at the very end. I forgot who it was. So let's take care of that reading right now as we scroll around and try to find it. That would be great. So let's check it out. Or not. Let's not check it out. Apparently, I can't find it. So, yeah, there's that. All right, well, welcome. What is going on? How is everyone doing tonight? How is everybody doing? It is Thursday live tarot readings. It was Blah. Blah had a question. I remember that. Blah had a question about something. So we'll check it out. What is going on? House of Tarot, how are you doing? The Tarot Magician, what's going on? Blah had a question. I forgot what the question was, and I was scrolling around to try to find it. But Aqua Leo, what is happening? How is everybody doing? It is Thursday. We have a long weekend ahead. I am excited. I am thrilled at this point for the long weekend because I'm going to get some tarot cards done. Blah had a question. Does anybody remember what Blah's question was from yesterday? If you know, I would greatly appreciate that. If you know. Anyway, so Blah had a question. We're going to do Blah's question once we figure it out. And unfortunately, the donation thing reset, so I can't see any donations. But anyway, all right, so there's that. Avni, hello. Mystic Cats, hey, how is it going? Awakened Earth Goddess, hello. Dallas K.A., welcome back. What is going on? Dallas K.A. saw that the Emperor was misspelled. Well, luckily, that won't happen on my deck. For sure, we won't misspell that. In fact, we did the Lovers. So if you like the Lovers, that's coming up. And got a good-looking Lovers card. So I like the cloth on that. Cloth looks pretty sweet. The faces, not so much. But I like the grass as well. So overall, I think we got a winner. So I'm going to make fire come out of her head, and then there's going to be fire over here, and then that's going to be the Photoshop effects. So I'm looking forward to checking that out and doing that, I guess, tomorrow. I guess we'll do that tomorrow in Photoshop. So yeah, Tarot Magician, what is going on? Kitty Cat, welcome. Hey, how are you doing? Katie Bow, hello. What is going on? Yeah, there will be no misspelled Emperor in mine. In case you're wondering what they're talking about, by the way, the Emperor is misspelled in this deck. It is the Emperor. Not really sure what the Emperor is, but yeah, it is the Emperor. So the Star Tarot. By the way, 4K flip through coming tomorrow. Annie Law, it has been a minute. How are you doing? It has been a while, Annie. I haven't seen you in a bit. How have you been doing? Let's see. Bartman wants to know about the Raina. Bartman has a Raina fascination. There you go. All right. My spouse P. Avni, my spouse P. What is the next move towards me? That rhymes. My spouse P. What is the next move towards me? Kate. Welcome. It's so good to see you from Scotland. Hello. What is going on? I have never been to Scotland. Katie Bow, thank you for your subscription. I appreciate it. Melanated Carissa. Hello. And what is going on? Let's see. Awakened Earth Goddess wants to connect. Well, Awakened Earth. I don't know if you're connecting with me or you're connecting with everybody. I'm not really sure what's happening there. Wolf Murray, welcome. What is going on? And let's see about that. Let's see about the relationship question that we had there. Let's see, what is P's next move to me? All right, Abney. P's next move to me. Is it going to be positive or negative? It should be simple to figure out. Should be simple to figure out. Jocelyn, thank you for your donation. I appreciate you. All right, and let's see. For this one, we'll check it out with the Mystical Dream Tarot. Speaking of mystical, I am going to be on Dr. Mystical's channel this weekend, Saturday at noon Central. If you like Dr. Mystical, and of course you do, then you got to head over there and check me and him out. We're going to talk about coming online from doing in-person readings. In-person readings and online, I mean, that's going to be a problem. Raina, what is going on? All right, so what are we doing with P? P's next move to you, Ace of Swords. I think we do have a move in hand. I think we are getting a move coming, a move sort of in that way. By the way, this is the Mystical Dream Tarot. Okay, somebody always asks. We have a move on the way. The Ace of Swords, we have that thing, right? We have an initial communication. We have the start of communication. We have a thought of thoughts, air. We have that airy feel. Unfortunately, the Eight of Cups comes right after, which is sort of like a leaving. We're sort of like leaving. So it's almost like they're communicating about leaving. They're communicating. They're trying to figure out what the original problem was and what they can do to correct it. I think they're trying to reconcile. It seems like there's a reconciliation here because the Eight of Cups is let's grab our stuff and bail, right? From a relationship, let's grab everything and sort of head out and just give up at this point. And that's not going to be a good thing. That's not going to be a good thing at all. So the problem here that you're going to have is that you have this communication about leaving, or you have a communication trying to reconcile leaving. And the Spirit of Swords sort of mixes in with that as well. We're talking about that communication is getting cut off. Communication is challenged. There seems to a lot of trying to get back to normal with not only communication, but with sort of balancing out the entire relationship, because the Two of Cups says we all want to get back to normal. We want to get back to something that's going to be, stable, something that's going to be normal. And right now it seems that normal is a bit out of reach, but I think that we can get there. We just need to get the Two of Cups in line, get the Spirit of Swords figured out. But the Eight of Cups, we're talking about leaving. We're talking about disappointment. We're talking about things not being the way that we want them to be. Things aren't the way that we want them to be. Sounds like the beginning of a song, but sometimes that's just how it works. And my donation alerts are not popping up. I don't know what is going on. Do I have to sign out and back in? Like what the world is happening here? I didn't change my password or anything. All right, what is coming towards me this year? Let's check it out for Jocelyn. See, now this can be a problem if we have like a ton of people. So I don't know. We'll figure that out. We'll figure that out as we go along there. All right. Why so many moderators here? Just because I like the Thoth Tarot. That's why you have so many moderators. When you have the Thoth Tarot, you need more moderators, You need, like every other person is a moderator in chat right now. I mean, that's just the way it goes. That's just the way it goes. Crystal, what is going on? Mystic Cats, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, Mystic Cat's going to talk about the newest success going on there. Ooh, we got an alert. All right, thank you for your very generous donation. I appreciate you, Mystic. I appreciate you, Mystic. We got to check that out. Find out about your new deck, what kind of challenges we're going to be having with that. All right, Hot wants to know JM. Need to know about her relationship as well. Well, hopefully it, as long as it's not, let's see. As long as it's, let's see, Kickstarter stuff. All right, Hot, what is coming towards me this year? What are we doing here with this year? I mean, it seems like that we're trying to get, so we have the, you can see it's right set up. So we have the traditional heartbreak card, right? The traditional Three of Swords. We're mixing the Three of Swords with the Moon. So it seems like we're talking about a heartbreak. We have emotions. We have some actions related to that, trying to get out of something. So we seem to be stuck in some regards as far as the year goes along. We get into some relationship. We get into something, get into some type of situation where we're just stuck. And we're pointing towards the heartbreak card to going into the moon reverse. Now, what does that mean? By the way, I'm coming out with my book, actually talks about the heartbreak card, the good old Three of Swords and all that. Hey, Falling Star wants to work from home. Well, check that out. I appreciate your donation. Cool. Got more time at work next week. All right. I'm helping with the plant flowers. That's cool. So yeah, so we do have, George, getting into a situation where we have some heartbreak, we have some challenges emotionally, we have some things that aren't just going quite well. We're trying to pick it up, some of the pieces from that as well. But some of this is just because there's some heated talk, there's some heated communication. Things get, pretty passionate sometimes with this other person, and you get into a situation to where you say things you didn't mean. They say things that they didn't mean, and you sort of have this back and forth problem that's coming out from this. Now, talking about the wands, with the wands field, this is a very active card, as well as I think you're going to be chasing some bigger projects or some bigger things that are not related to love, just some big projects, some things that you have been not really expecting to start, some things that opportunities that are going to come along that are going to be interesting, some ideas that you have, some prospects that you have. You're going to have some good ideas. We're going to sort of chase those as well. So I think that you have an opportunity to sort of make money, an opportunity to sort of travel as well. So within this realm, I think that somebody that you know or somebody that you end up with wants to travel with you somewhere out of the country, and you end up going out of the country on some fun thing and whatnot. I assume after the corona is all over is where it sort of gives that as well. But you end up having issues with this person in the long run. In other words, we start to have issues later on with this particular relationship. When we see this from the three, from the heartbreak card, from the disconnect that we have with this particular person, but also that they're trying to be too controlling. They want to control you. They want to have all the rules on their side, and they want to get really serious about, being controlling and being too much sometimes, so that you're not really in it. You're not really invested in it anymore. And it's kind of becomes sort of a pain in the ass kind of thing. So anyway, I mean, that controlling aspect, trying to get everything figured out. We're trying to do all that stuff, but the relationship ends up being back and forth and sort of really weird. So anyway, witty screen name, what is going on? Katie Bow, thank you for your donation. I appreciate that. All right, the rest of this month, what are we doing? Checking all of that stuff out. All right, so Mystic Cats wants to know the newest tarot. Let's check this out. All right, MKPR. Newest tarot. Let's check your tarot out and see what is happening with all that good stuff. What is a good tarot deck for a tarot? I'm going to go with the Light Seers. I mean, in general, I like the Light Seers. I like how it looks and smells and all of that stuff. I enjoy that. Katie Bow, what is going on? All right, what is coming for Katie Bow in the rest of this month? There's not the rest of this month. There's not much left. There's a few days left. So we may do, Katie, do you want to extend it? Katie, how about we extend it for 30 days? We'll just do a 30-day. What do you think? What do you think about all of that? Just have a bit of an extension there, because there's only a few days left. I mean, we are sort of rounding it out now. All right. Let's find out about the tarot by using tarot. What else would we possibly use on the channel except for some more tarot? The sun, it's looking good with that. Yeah, all right. So let's see. I assume you're going Kickstarter. I assume we're going Kickstarter. I mean, that seems to be the default. Seems to be the default as well. 30 days work. There you go. All right. Seems to be the default. The Four of Cups. I think you're coming off of sort of this mixture of happiness and sadness from the last one. I think the last one sort of got under your skin a little bit of under the skin. The Four of Cups reversed. The last one got under your skin a little bit. And I think that you expected it to be a certain way, and then it was sort of different at the end kind of thing. So there's that rush at the end. You finally got it. You were, you just barely made it type of thing. We're talking about with the Sun and the Hanged Man. When the Hanged Man is here, we're talking about maybe a different level of goal, if that makes sense. So adjusting your goal either down to where you realistically expect to make this, and how much does it cost? In other words, I want to print 100, I want to print 500, I want to print X amount of cards. How much is that going to cost? And how devoted or how dedicated am I to that amount? Does it make sense? Do I want to print 100? If I want to print 100, how much is it with shipping? How much is it with this, that? How much is it going to be? And once you figure that amount out, make your goal there, and now you have 100 copies that, you know, so the goal is a little bit lower. So now you have less stress because you made your goal, but you did make enough to print 100 copies, which is sort of the minimum nowadays. You know, print 100 is sort of a minimum in order to get something printed and not be outrageous. So how much do you want realistically? How much is a realistic goal? And put the goal lower so you don't really have stress. We're not concerned about it. And we pick that up immediately, you know, sort of immediately, and everything's looking good with that. So the Hanged Man says, look for a different perspective this time when we're going that to avoid the Three of Swords. We want to stay out of the Three of Swords where you're, you're drawing each card. Okay, there you go. Yeah. So if you want to goal up, if you want to goal down, so depends on how you want to do it. In other words, what is your time worth? What is your, in other words, adjust it to be what you want. You want to print this many, this is how much your time's worth, etc., etc., etc. And the Hanged Man says adjust it accordingly. The Three of Swords says to avoid disappointment or to avoid something that's going to be sort of a cliffhanger at the end type thing. But the Sun says that I think that you're ready, you're excited. I think that you've learned from the last one what you want to do, how you want to organize the page. So you're coming in fresh. You're coming in fresh with a lot of good information. I think you're more excited this time. I think you're ready to go. I think it's more of a, now I'm kind of familiar with the ropes. Let's leap back in and let's do it with full steam ahead. The Nine of Swords, though, says we do have some concern. I think that we're coming off some concern with either the printer or the just what you want to add. So I want to add some, enamel pins. I want to add some prints. I want to add all of these things. But before I go on Kickstarter, how much does that cost? How long does it take? What does it look like? I need some samples to show. And so you're kind of in that mode to where you're trying to figure out exactly what you want to add. So Crystal, thank you I appreciate that for your donation. So the Nine of Swords says you're in a bit of a quandary as what I want on the Kickstarter. I want all of these things. What stretch goals do I want? So you're in that. You're in that a bit. So the Ace of Swords says overall, just make sure before you go and launch, make sure before you go and hit the road, hit the ground running, that you have everything prepared. You have all your numbers crunched out, what your time's worth. We got the Hanged Man. We got everything locked down as far as what I want, how I want it, and when I want it. And the Ace of Swords says don't go too early. Make sure everything's in line. Make sure everything's organized the way that you want it to be. And I think that you're going to have a better time, especially with the last one under your belt and getting good with that. Also sort of means don't, set a realistic time frame, and don't try to intermingle both of them too much to where you're completely stressed all the time. You've got to get 30 orders out today, and you have to do 5 cards today. Or don't get into that situation. Sort of take your time with that stuff as well. So anyway, so there you go. I think it's going to work out well. The Sun says overall you're going to have a good time, but you do have a lot of logistics to take care of with this one. More so with this one than the last one, because now you have to fulfill this one and sort of do that one. And now you're in the same quandary as me, right? You're trying to figure out, thank you, Dallas KA. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So now you're trying to figure out, now you're in a situation, now you're trying to figure out, when do I start it so I don't stress myself out? I don't have too much work and things like that. But I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be, good. I think it's going to be much better. I think you're more comfortable. You know what I mean? You're just comfortable. You're just like at a place to where I think I'd be all right. Think that I'm going to be all right. All right, Dallas KA wants to know about a practice. We'll check that out in a minute. For now, let us go to, well, where does it? Let's go to that. I think it's going to be great. The Sun in there just says, we got it down. We got it down. All right, let's go dark blue looks good. Dark blue looks good for that. Okay, so falling star, will I get remote work? Working from home is not bad at all. Working from home. Let's check that out. All right, Paula, what's going on? I got 2 of my own creations. There you go, MPC. MPC, man, they take forever to print some stuff sometimes, but overall, I like them. Overall, I like them. Speaking of like them, you know, I want to go for the Chiro deck, even though I don't have my Chiro stuff yet. My Chiro stuff yet has not shipped. Has not shipped. All right, let's check it out. For working from home, you really can't go wrong working from home. Well, it depends on the distractions. The level of distractions and all of that stuff is sometimes intimidating. But other than that, working from home. Speaking of which, we go to the job screen. We've got another work reading after this as well. So looking at the King of Wands, the Star, the Nine of Cups, and the Nine of Cups, I think you're going to be sort of challenged to get this. Oh, House of Tarot, you had another question. Sorry about that. We'll grab that in a second. Sorry about that. What? What? JM need to know about her relationship. That's right. I skipped you. I'll come back. All right. So I think that we're challenged to get work from home. I think that you've tried this before. I think that you have put in some pretty good effort into getting this before, and working remotely is sort of a challenged place or a challenging place to where you're trying to get things there. We're trying to get things there, but sometimes it's just not working, or sometimes it's a bit challenged to get started. I think that we've applied for things before, but it's either a scam, or we had other issues, or we ran into situations to where it was just, you know, terrible labor and a terrible job type thing. The Star reverse says we've had issues finding, we've had issues getting guided to the proper one. And the Knight of Cups says, as well as the ones that you have seen, don't seem to coincide with a good job, a job that pays well, a job that's worth your time, a job that has all that stuff. So I think we're sort of still chasing the Star. The Star is reversed though, but we are still chasing the Star. We're trying to figure out how to get in that space and to get into that mode, and it is a bit challenging. So if you're talking about finding it, the Nine of Cups says we could find something eventually, but we're running into a lot of problems. The Knight of Cups, the ones that we find are just not the good jobs. They're jobs to where you have to be logged in and they track what you type, or it's something weird. The Star, again, you've tried and tried. I think that you have a couple opportunities to chase, but again, it's going to be challenging. You have to go through a lot of that. The King of Wands as well says that we have gone through this process and just not getting in there. Yo, Yoli, what is going on? Thank you for joining us. But yeah, the Nine of Cups says we do eventually find it, but you're in for a long road. You're in for a long road trying to find one that's going to be good and one that you can really get into and all that stuff. Especially now, a lot of those jobs are being taken up by everybody because everybody's sort of paranoid. If you don't have to get coronavirus, you know, and you can stay at home, why not do that? So it seems the competition is almost doubled now. And yeah, again, all right, JM. What does JN need to know about her relationship? Well, I completely messed that up. About their relationship. P, that's right. There's P in relationship. That'd be great if it wouldn't lag like this. All right, JM has a relationship. How is it going to go? Let's get off the job screen. We go to the love screen. I think we are. I think we are pretty good on the love screen. Check out the Golden Tarot. I do like that. Tinkerbell Light, what is going on? Tinkerbell just joined in time to see the love screen. A love screen. You need fast internet, definitely. Yeah, some of those. Francisca, thank you for your subscription. I appreciate you. Yeah, some of those are a bit iffy. So Dallas, we'll check out your practice after Katie. Katie wants to know about 30 days and check that out. All right. So here we go. Here we go with the love screen and with JM. You know, the Knight of Wands into the Eight of Wands, as far as what they want to know or what they need to know about their relationship, it seems that it's almost short term. It's almost short term. It feels short term. So if it's long term already, maybe it's sort of drawing to a point where everybody's kind of bored and tired of each other or something. But it just seems like that we have a situation where there's a lot of movement and maybe some leaving, a lot of movement, a lot of things back and forth and all of that stuff. Because we have the Eight of Wands followed by the Seven of Swords. It's weird to get two movement cards all just right next to each other. It's like that we're moving back and forth, maybe an on-off relationship. Maybe a relationship that gets great and then goes to hell and then gets great again. But we do have this weird movement situation involved with the entire thing. So it's sort of like, you know, as far as what to need to know, what to understand about the relationship, that there is some movement, there is some decisions being made, there are things going back and forth, and we have some sort of an issue with this as well. The Two of Wands says that stability is sort of teetering back and forth as well. The Two of Wands, I want to dominion. I have power. I have the ability. I have the ways to do this that it's going to work. And the Two of Wands also, I'm sort of looking out into possibilities. And that being reversed, it's like that we're stuck in a situation to where we have this back and forth feel as well. The Knight of Wands, so we do have a wand sort of surrounding the entire thing. The Knight of Wands being reversed into the Eight of Wands. Again, we're talking about movement, but again, we're sort of restricted. We can't move. We can't get things done. We're stuck in several aspects of this, right? The Knight of Wands into the Eight of Wands. We want to get moving. We want to do things, but sometimes we just can't. The Two of Wands says we can't as well. So it's like we're trapped in a situation to where we're not, maybe we're not happy. Maybe we want to move around. But it's just a weird, this is a weird reading kind of thing. We have this weird situation where everything is sort of on a mouse wheel almost, where the wheel goes round and round, but there's no progress being made. And there needs to be some progress being made, because once you're on that wheel a while, and once you have those type of issues, it could be a recurring problem, it could be an on and off thing, it could be a back and forth, but either way, it seems to be problems. So anyway, Katie Bow, and then we'll do Dallas, and then we'll do CM. Thank you all for hanging out with me. I appreciate that. Dorothy, hello. What is going on? Say Tinkerbell Light, some fairy dust for you. There you go. All right. Katie wants to know about 30 days. Shoot out 30 days there. 30 days. What is happening with Katie Bow? What is happening with Katie Bow? Get off the love screen, because we don't know if Katie Bow is going to find love or what exactly is going to happen in the next 30 days. But I know that the Bonefire Tarot is going to be a pretty good one for this. Pretty good one for a 30-day throwdown. The 30-day throwdown. There we go. There is a lot of mods, I got to say. Someone's like, wow, there's so many. Yeah, you see that, though. I mean, you see that, though, in pretty much every tarot channel we see. A lot of mods, which is good. Which is good. Always good. All right. Let's find out about 30 days. What is going on? Do a couple more. One more. Well, no, we got 5 already. I think 5 is going to do us. 5 is going to do us for the 30-day throwdown. The 30-day throwdown. What do we have in store for you? Well, the King of Wands into the Four of Wands reversed. Are you moving? Are we moving? Is there something where you're moving? Are you finding someone? Have you found someone else? Are you in a long distance relationship type thing? We got a bunch of really unusual cards here. So the King of Wands is the very action oriented, but sort of plans it out. We get going, we get concentrated on something, and we move forward into the Four of Wands reverse. In other words, it's like we're moving, or we're planning to move, or we're going somewhere. The Four of Wands is the home card. That being reversed says maybe we're relocating, maybe we're moving, maybe we're thinking about a new place. or helping somebody else move. We have a lot of movement as far as that's concerned. So the Four of Wands is a stability card as well. We could have some instability to where we have a situation where we're not quite sure how stable our situation is going to be coming up. So we have that back and forth with that. Now, the Two of Cups with it means we have other people involved with this as well. So we have somebody that could have vested interest in the move, or we could have even a long distance relationship would point to this, because we have the King of Wands, we have that action-oriented feel. Four of Wands reverse, it's not at home, but it is a relationship. It is communicating with somebody long distance for the Two of Cups. Now you have another king, the King of Swords, again, points to people being invested in this, people having some interest in this as well. So if the move is happening or things are going on with that, or we have some type of movement with here, we have two vested interests. One is the King of Swords, which is sort of the leader or the person that's going to be the most serious about it. They're going to be sort of either the organizer, or they have a big vested interest in the entire thing. So that going back and forth again, says the King of Swords is the military leader. It's the leader. It's the person that has the big stake in the entire thing. And the moon sort of rounding this off says that we end up someplace better, or we end up in a situation to where the moon is present. The moon talks about cycles. So it's something more regular, something more stable, something where we go round and round and end up at a better position. Does that make sense? So again, let me know if you're moving or if you have some plans. If not, you may be involved with something that, is something that is long distance with someone, or a long distance type of relationship possibly as well. So do have a couple of court cards. Kings means an older person, somebody who's good with relationships, somebody's familiar with relationships. They're not exactly the sort of the best at relationships, but they are very good. You have a couple of choices with that as well. So interesting combination there. Interesting combination there. As far as the moving is pretty much a constant thing, long distance relationship type deal as well. Okay. All right. So we have a practice reading for Dallas K.A. Dallas K, thank you for joining. I appreciate you. Hopefully my reading is going to be cool. Let's see. This is the first time you've been here. I know we've been talking back and forth and whatnot. So let's check that out. Check that out. You said, I am here. All right. Let me get your exact question again. Will be successful in my practice. Let's check that out. DKA. Successful in practice or not successful in practice? Try that out. Try that out with the Thoth Clone. With the Thoth Clone. I will not drop it on the floor this time. The last time I had this, I dumped it onto the floor. Onto the floor. So hopefully that won't happen. But hey, Janelle, thank you for your donation. I appreciate that. You're going to have an unexpected holiday weekend. Any surprises? We'll check that out. Hopefully, if there are surprises, they are good ones. We hope we get some good surprises when we go on the holiday. All right. We're going to be successful in our new practice. Let's check that out. All right. Is it Janielle or is it Janelle? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Either way, I'm not good with pronouncing names sometimes. I could butcher. We got Dominion is back. We got the Dominion action is back indeed. All right. So Dallas KA, we got to practice. We need to figure out if we're going to get good with this practice. CM, your reading is next. We need to figure out if we're going to be good with this practice or not. We can throw something down here for a couple of these and give a little extra meaning to those as far as the practice goes. So the Prince of Wands is a very interesting one. Oh, power. So we're sort of locked in with that. It's almost like that if you start the practice, if we're going to be successful at the practice, it's almost like we don't have a lot of control with that at first. We don't have a lot of control with that at first. It does get better. It does get better. So, I mean, Hooping Rabbit, hello, what is going on? I'm glad you were, let's see. Your 3-year-old, I'm glad your 3-year-old likes the cards. Basically, I guess they like cards. It's always a good thing. You don't have a lot of control with it. I think you're putting a lot of effort. We're putting a lot of passion. We're putting a lot of things into this. But we don't have a lot of ability to control the outcome when we first start. It's like we throw ourselves out there and then we kind of hope for the best. And that could be good. That could be bad. You get dominion. Dominion is the crossing of 2 fire wands. And the crossing gives us the power. The crossing gives us this ability to control our fate and the ability to control our dominion. We look out at what we see and we're able to get control of it. A control that we didn't have when we started. So now we move into the next one. It's like that it does take an emotional toll after a little bit. So we have the Ace of Cups reversed, talking about that emotional, a bit of the emotional toll with the Ace of Cups. Now the Prince of Discs is this Taurus feel. They're sort of going forward. We're moving forward a bit on the stubborn side. In other words, I'm going to make this work, whether it wants to work or not. I'm going to force it through sometimes. I'm going to get that. And we get that from the dominion before that. We get that in the dominion before that. So the dominion says I have a bit of control and it's taking a toll on me because it seems like there's more work than we had anticipated. There's more complexity. There's more moving parts than we had anticipated. And the Prince of Disc, I'm going to force it through whether I like it or not, whether it wants to be forced or not. The Ace of Cups being there, in other words, we have a bit of the toll that's sort of being taken for that. So the overall satisfaction of it is, it's like that you had, is this a hobby that you're turning into a job? Let's say, yes, I'm a herbal therapist, a medical astrologist, planning on house calls. Well, there you go. There you go. So it's like that either the travel or some piece of it is I don't know, is sort of challenging. It's challenging to get everything organized. It's challenging to get everything ready. It's like we're juggling 20 balls at the same time. No pun intended. We're juggling a bunch of stuff at the same time. And it starts to wear on us, basically. It starts to wear on us. So will I be successful? Yes. The Prince of Disc is successful. The Taurus will push through. The Taurus will make it work no matter what. No matter what. You do get control over it. You do get more of a steady type thing going with this. But again, it's like that you're juggling so many things at one point that it just sort of wears you down a bit. So if you're ready for that, then that's cool. But I mean, you are, moderately successful. Again, time is the key here. The time is the key here. So juggling too much, make sure that you don't. Make sure that you don't juggle too much. Make sure that you're in a place to where you can get everything done and get it done successfully without sacrificing too much. So a lot of the people on YouTube that juggle like 50 balls at the same time or whatever, that takes a lot of work. That takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of practice. If you're going to do this, make sure that you only juggle what you can handle. Does that make sense? So don't grab too much and try to force it through just because you're like, I can do it, because you probably could, but that's going to be painful. So just watch out. There you go. All right. In Willis is back. What's going on in Willis? In Willis, I did the raw reading the other day where I just threw down some cards and hope for the best. Toss down them cards and I hope for the best. Speaking of the best, I hear a train. We got a train track far off in the distance there, and I hear it going. Dark Mansion Tarot, I saw you, CM. Thank you for hanging out with me, CM. CM's here every stream. CM, I appreciate you. CM's on that Patreon thing. CM's all over. Shelby Charles, welcome. What is going on? All right. find out about that. Can I get a general for June? For June? June is, I can't believe it's June. I can't believe it's gonna be June. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. Where did May go? Oh, that's right. May was a quarantine. That's where it went. All right. Let's check this out. What are we doing for June? What are we doing for June? Oh, it's all about adjusting. Adjusting to what? Adjusting to, okay. Well, we can do that. We can do that. I mean, sure, we can do that. So, June is all about adjusting. June is all about adjusting. I think that we have some issues coming up in June, sort of mediated by the Nine of Wands here. We're injured. We're not quite down yet, but we're sort of injured there. We're sort of injured there and having some problems. Yoli, what is going on? Thank you for hanging out. All right, we're having some problems, and I think you've had the problems before. So it's not something new, it's not something amazing. I think that you've had the problems before, and I think it's with someone. Is this your fake friend or something? I don't know, but the Lover's Reverse says that we have some problems with somebody else, and the problems have surfaced before. They're going to surface again. And I think in June, you're going to have to deal with some of that. You're going to have to deal with some of that. The Lover's Reverse, we have the problems with somebody. The Nine of Wands, we're injured, but we're not quite down yet. We're not quite down yet. Going into the Knight of Pentacles with strength. Now, the Knight of Pentacles is, a very proud card. And I think that you really don't want to suffer through a lot of the drama, so you end up just sort of negotiating the whole thing out. But you do have some problems with somebody. They sort of creep up with you as well. I think that you also get out of your lockdown strength in the Knight of Pentacles. We get out of our lockdown, obviously the end of this month, and you're able to get some stuff going. I think part of what you want to get going as well is a trip. I think you've been planning a trip. I think that you have wanted a trip and you have sort of put it in the back of your mind. And I think that's something that you want to sort of chase in June, at least if minimal, at least sort of start organizing it as well. So yeah, you do have sort of this trip that you've been wanting to take. You've been putting it off. I think that you've been wanting to go somewhere. And I think that that's going to be something that you get there. All right, Janelle. Unexpected holiday weekend. Well, that's good. That's good. Speaking of trips, Janelle has an unexpected holiday weekend. Holiday weekend. You have no trip planned, but I think, Crystal, I think that you will be beginning that planning process in June. You will be beginning it, starting it, warming it up, per se. Warming it up. And by the way, this has been re-released. I know everyone is excited. About the Grail Tarot. There we go. Whoa. In Willis. Questions are answered at random. Laura, welcome. What's going on? Laura, I put your name hidden in the Chariot card. I have your name in the Chariot card. Can you find it? Go look at my Chariot card, Laura. Your name is there. Well, your initials is there, not like your whole name. Anyway, speaking of cards and all of that, I made today the Lover's card. I have to Photoshop it. So we're going to put fire. We're going to put fire here. And so there you go. There's the Lovers. I think this is going to be on the box. Might do a box cover. So I'm going to put clouds in Photoshop, head on fire in Photoshop, and we'll put little fire things over there. But overall, pretty happy with it. I think it looks decent. So there you go. All right. Okay. You've asked others. In Willis, you're not having a good day, man. Sounds like you're challenged. Sounds like you're challenged with all of that. Okay. Let's have some water. Have some water. Shelby, what's coming for you in love? All right. Solomon. Why don't we get Solomon? Okay. Yeah, it is sudden indeed. It's something that you got excited about. It's something that you got excited about. And I think it's something that you're going to enjoy. I think it's something you're going to run into and have fun with that. But it's almost like it's an unfamiliar situation. You're in a weird situation here that's almost sort of unfamiliar, where you're going someplace either you haven't been before, you're going someplace you don't know what's there, and you're in a situation where you're like, should I bring a mask? What should I bring? What should I prepare for? I mean, what if we go on the sort of the holiday weekend and, you know, end up running into something with this corona garbage and all this other stuff? Melissa and Alpha, what is going on? Appreciate that. EK, hello. Ekra. So the Two of Swords, we have that blinded and defensive thing. And by blinded, we mean, again, you don't really know what to expect with all this drama. And defensive, again, you're like, I hope I don't run into anything. Like, I hope I don't get sick. I hope I don't run into anything. I'm just confused with it, having problems, sort of, you know, wondering what is going to happen with that. But you are excited. Solomon says, we are excited. We're ready to go. It's time to get out of the house. It's time to get out of the house. So there you go. The Ten of Stones, I think everything's going to work out. I don't think you're going to get sick. I don't think there's any bad things coming as far as that's concerned as well. I do see that there's a bit of drama with somebody else, maybe that's either going or planned it. There's a bit drama. The restoration, we're in a situation where we're sort of mixed up almost as far as coming back. It's like, well, there's some disorganization coming back. There's some disorganization around the trip. So expect a bit of winging it on the trip. A bit of winging it in Willis. Thank you for your donation. I appreciate that. All right. But yeah, so the restoration says we're sort of winging it on the way back. That could be bad. That could be good. I'm not really sure. It seems that there's a bit of drama associated once we get started and we're on the return type thing. But overall, I think it's going to work out. I don't think you're going to get sick. I think the level of paranoia that'll sort of develop as it's coming up is going to increase, but I think everything will be okay. I think everything will be okay. Entertainment purposes only, though, but whatever. Lisa McNeil, what is going on? Lisa says, hello from Colorado. Well, hello back from Texas. Texas, the big state with hardly any corona, thank goodness. All right, in Willis, thank you for your donation. We'll use the Druidcraft for you. Druidcraft's a good one. I have been using this forever. For literal ever. Anybody, do we have any oldies here? Anybody who's been watching the whole 10 years? I'm kind of curious. Probably not. But this was one of my decks that I used all the frickin' time. Jesus, I use this daily. It still looks pretty good too. I use this all the frickin' time there. Well, check it out. All right. N. Willis wants to know, how did P feel about me in the Airbnb? All right. Let's see about that. NW. How did P feel about me? And how does he feel now? All right. 1 month later, and then how does he feel now? Okay. So we'll do 1 month later and then now. There we go. Let's do 1 month later over here. And then we'll do now down here. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4 for now. There you go. All right. A month later. Druidcraft. I trimmed this one. Man, I love this deck. Jesus, I love this deck. So, all right, we'll do a month later and then now. So here's now. There's a month later. Oh, a month later, P was like, maybe there's something good happening here. Maybe there's something good happening here, but we need more information. It's like, you've piqued my interest. You've piqued my interest. You have. You did. You piqued my interest. So what exactly so this is sort of within that month and this is now type thing. There you go. You piqued my interest. I'm kind of curious as to what's happening here. And I sort of want to stay in touch. I want to stay in touch. You piqued my interest. You have some interesting things happening. You have some good feels. Brianna, welcome. What is going on? We got some good feels. We have some good things going on. Maybe it was too much too fast almost. Maybe too much too fast. Maybe maybe they wanted some level of control that maybe they didn't have. They got into a situation that maybe they didn't want to be in overall, or sort of unexpected type thing as well. I think as well, you sort of interrupted something. They had other things going on. You interrupted something. We had some stuff, and this was unexpected situation to where now my plans, or now some of the things I was going to do, things I was going to try to do, are interrupted and a bit confused. So we have this confusing situation to where you came in, you interrupted something, there was some unexpected events, there seems to be some back and forth, and overall you pique their interest, but it's not something where, I don't know, it's not something where they just want to stop everything and just dedicate themselves to you. Does that make sense? So that back and forth, right? But again, let's focus on the interruption again. It's like that there's a lot of other things going on. There were some big focuses that they were looking at, and this sort of put a glitch in the matrix. They sort of put a glitch in the matrix there. All right. So what do they think? So that was sort of then, and then a month, sort of a mix, then and a month, sort of a mix. So what are we talking about now? What are we talking about now? It's almost like that they want to put a halt to it. We have a halt to it. And we're in a situation where we know what to expect now. We have a better understanding. We have a better expectation of what's sort of happening now. But it's something that we don't want to participate in 100%. We can sort of dabble in it. We can sort of dabble in it a bit, but say one of the Airbnb, quite a bit of depth. Well, we can sort of dabble with it a bit, but it's like at this point we don't want to chase it too much. We don't want to chase it too much. We have this abandonment of the situation. We're looking at getting out of the situation, almost getting out of the situation. We have two movement cards, one of which is a negative movement card. In other words, we're sort of abandoning our emotion. We're sort of dropping what we had, and then we're sort of moving on into that situation. So, and then the Knight of Swords, it's like we're still abandoning it. Again, we're trying to get out of the situation at this point. So, I mean, we're getting out of the situation at this point. We're trying to abandon it. We're trying to move on and get away from it. And now it seems that things are clearer now than they were before. Things are much clearer now than they were before. And now that they are clear, we want to get out. So yeah, we have a lot of indications for movement cards. And the movement card, this is sort of movement without being planned. So this is sort of movement without being planned. We don't, if you watch the night video, we have movement, but it's not a focused movement. It's just let's move quickly and get out of something. And then the abandonment card as well. But we're more aware now than we were before. That's the important thing. Got a couple of knights. The other knight, again, points to I don't want to move forward and I don't want to get into that situation. So we get to, let's see, You want to get away from me. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much like I just want to get out of the situation. Not necessarily you. It's not necessarily you. It's I want to get away. I want to get away. And it's important for me to get away. So, but I want to get away because I've had time to think. So we'll do 3 cards for the B&B, and then we'll bump and go to Philippa. Philippa, thank you about your donation. I appreciate you. So Airbnb, let's see. Please answer the question that no one will look at. I have no idea. Talk about the Airbnb, the main question that no one will even look at. I'm not really sure what you want here. Not really sure what you want, but we're doing an Airbnb situation here. All right, the Airbnb, we're moving from a place that's negative. No, you, the reader, what? We're looking at a place that was negative. We're moving from that into a better place. So the 6 of Swords is all about moving from a bad place or moving from a negative place. I think we had a negative relationship before. It's almost like maybe we broke up with somebody, maybe we have issues with, maybe we have some problems, and we're moving into a better place. And we're moving into a better place because of the situation, as well as we are more empowered at the Airbnb. We have more power. The Magician, we have more power. We're more empowered. We have more focus. We have more ability to manifest. We have more ability to do things that we want to do. And the interaction or the place or the combination has given us opportunities in focus that we haven't had before. So the Magician is, I have all the abilities that I need, and I don't really sort of, but I want to get those sort of focused and then move with that. Now we are talking about the Knight again, and this particular Knight is about being, let's see, we have being proud, things like that. So we have this pride. We're moving from either a bad situation into a better situation. Now we have more opportunities for that. Now we have more power within ourselves to get things done because of the situation. So, I mean, there you go. All right. All right. Life-changing moment. He was sad before. Well, the Magician says that I do have power now. I do have more focus. I do have better things available to me, and I have the ability to manifest those and the ability to change those. So even though I had a bad situation before, now I have a better situation, but it looks like after some thought, they don't want to continue with that situation. All right. Thank you for your donation again. I appreciate you. All right. How's Darius feeling about me currently? How's Darius feeling about me currently? All right. Let's find that out with an interesting one. What about the Hobbit? It has been a minute since we have used the Hobbit Tarot, one of my favorites. I trimmed it, by the way, in case you're wondering where it came from, and it is not trimmed by default. Love Maya, welcome. What is going on? Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. So there you go. There we go. All right, Philippa, check it out. Darius. Is Darius in a good place? Is Darius in a bad place right now? As far as you're concerned, let's check that out. And this will be the ending soon screen. There we go. Last reading. Thank you everyone again for hanging out with me tonight. It has been fun. It has been fun. Why are they trying to get away from that? All right, we got a few majors. We got a couple of majors there. So there we go. So Darius, 8 of Swords is so weird here. And next to that, Darius wants to have an on-off relationship. Wants to have something on-off relationship. It's like they can't change their mind. They change their mind too much. I think that Darius don't know what they want. Getting into this, Darius doesn't know what they want. They're in a situation to where they're trying to do something, but they can't quite get it done. They're in a situation to where they want a completely different situation or a completely different type of relationship with you than what you want. I think at one point you were on the same page, and then we drifted off. The Tower says that we're looking at I mean, a bit of change as far as this goes, and a bit of back and forth as far as this goes. So I think they had a moment to where we're both on the same page, but now we're completely different almost. We have completely moved back and forth, and we're trying to get things into an on-off relationship, or they're either completely ignoring you at this point. But I think that they'll be back. The star says that you're sort of destined to be not really together. You're sort of destined to be in this weird relationship that sort of started. And it started with the Three of Swords upside down, which normally points to, if you have the Three of Swords into the Eight of Swords, it's like that, again, we got into a situation where we were on the same page, and then we sort of drifted off into a completely different situation. And then things just didn't work out, or things had problems, or I just don't want to deal with it right now. So the Three of Swords says we're trying to avoid that. And now we're sort of taking a break from it. The Eight of Swords, we're taking a break from it. We don't want to deal with it. We're trying to avoid change. We're trying to avoid drama. We're trying to avoid problems. And the only way to do that is to just completely cut you off, possibly. So he is ignoring. Well, there you go. The only way to ignore the change is to completely cut you off. Will they cut you off forever? No. The Tower says we'll be back. The Star says we're destined to be back. We're coming back, and we are good with that, but we need a bit of a break. But I want an on-off thing going, and I'm willing to sacrifice some things for that, but not everything. In other words, I don't want a permanent relationship. So, I mean, there you go. All right. Yeah, the Tower is destroying it indeed. But yeah, this is a weird relationship. This is a weird relationship. I wouldn't spend a lot of time on this. I would not spend a lot of time on this if you, don't like sit there and worry about it. Don't be concerned about it. I would not spend a lot of time on this, because that is a really messed up person that doesn't know what they want. So I would find somebody more stable, basically. They have no clue what they want. They don't even have a simple idea what they want. So, I mean, there you go. All right. Yeah, he is my ex. Well, yeah, on-off relationship. He doesn't know what he wants. When he gets it, he changes his mind. But there you go. All right. Anyway, thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate all of you being here today. And I appreciate that. And I will be here tomorrow night as well, and every night. So if you didn't get your question answered, please come back, and we'll see you next time.